Hassler here. I'm going to be doing 9.9 notes with you on factoring trinomials. Recall that a trinomial is an expression that has three terms, and all of our expressions are going to start with x squared or 1x squared, which is what it means to have a equal to 1 in our directions. All right, so just as a reminder, when we talk about factoring, we're talking about taking an expression and writing as multiplication. We're going to write it as two expressions being multiplied by each other. The difference today is that our two expressions are going to be two binomials. So it says match the correct missing binomial with each factored polynomial. Okay, so you can see that for 1, 2, 3, 4, I have this blank space here, and that blank space is going to be multiplied by x plus 2, and in the end, I'm going to end up with x squared plus 6x plus 8. That is my goal. And so if I think about it, I know that x times x, right, x times x gives me my x squared. And I noticed in my choice box that all of these start with x. In fact, they all have x plus. And so I can say, well, my binomial here should be x plus something. My job is to figure out what that should be. So to recall, in order to multiply, I say x times x is x squared, and x times 2 is 2x. And now I got to go and figure out what times x and what times 2. And I know that my two middle terms here should add up to 6, and that my constant, some number times 2, should give me 8. So I'm going to stick with that. 2 times what gives me 8? Well, 2 times 4 gives me 8, which means that if I come back here and do my check, 4 times x, I would get 4x. If I combine those, I get that 6x in the middle, and so it matches. And x plus 4 happens to be a choice. So if I multiply x plus 4 times x plus 2, I get x squared plus 6x plus 8. In other words, factors of x squared plus 6x plus 8 would be x plus 4 and x plus 2. Let's try another one, and then you guys can figure out the remaining two. Let's do problem 3 because there's a subtraction here. So in problem 3, again, in order to get x squared, I have to do x times x, right? That would give me x squared. And x times negative 3 is negative 3x. But now I got to go and figure out what times x, okay? And what times negative 3 gives me negative 6. Well, 2 times negative 3 gives me negative 6. Let's just check this inner part again, right? So 2 times x would give me a 2x, and if I add those together, I get a negative 1x, which matches that middle term. So factors of x squared minus x minus 6 would be x plus 2 and x minus 3, and so that was option D. All right, you guys got to figure out what goes in 2 and 4. We're going to press pause for the video and see what you can do. Okay, so you should have x plus 1 times x plus 5 gives you x squared plus 6x plus 5. So that was option A. And then you should have x plus 5 times x minus 5 gives us x squared minus 25. Now I just want to double check this one. X times x is x squared, and x times negative 5 is negative 5x. And then 5 times x is positive 5x. And 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. And I notice that my middle terms end up canceling to be 0. So I just have the x squared and the minus 25 left. And so it's curious to me that when I have a plus 5 and a minus 5, I end up having this canceled middle term. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this next section down here. And so this next section down here, again, has choices for you. You have 6 problems and 6 choices. I'm just going to do the first one with you since it's double subtraction, and then your job would be to try the remaining 5. So let's see what we can do. Again, I know that x times x is going to give me x squared. So x times x gives me that x squared. and x times negative 5 is negative 5x. And it kind of seems like I'm looking for a number here that's going to multiply to negative 15. So I've got this number times negative 5 gives me negative 15. And 3 times negative 5 gives me negative 15. And so I want to check the rest to see if it matches. 3 times x gives me a 3x. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And if I add these two in the middle, I get negative 2x, and that matches. And so x plus 3 was my correct answer. All right, again, you have 5 remaining choices and 5 problems to figure out. And so I'm going to have you guys push pause on the video and see what you can do. Okay, so we should have some answers here. Problem 6 should be x plus 6. Problem 7 should be x minus 2. 8 is x minus 7. There's that one again where I have this minus 7 and this plus 7. And so when I go to distribute and I get plus 7x and this minus 7x, that's going to give me 0 when I combine those, which is why I have this missing x term. Number 9 is x plus 2, and number 10 is x minus 6. All right, again, just to review before you move on to these final 4, you don't get a choice box there. In order to check this, I've got x times x is x squared, and x times negative 5 is negative 5x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. And a negative 6 times a negative 5 is a positive 30. And so what I like to do is I like to figure out, okay, what number times negative 5, so what number times negative 5 gives me this constant? And that kind of helps me figure out what that binomial here should be. When I combine these together, I get a negative 11x. And so that matches my answer there. All right. Let us talk about down here. Down here, you don't have a choice bank to go from. So I'm going to do lucky number 13 with you and talk about some strategy, and then you guys are going to give it a try. All right, again, to get x squared, I have to do x times x. Now, I'm just going to jump straight here. My job is to say what times negative 2 gives me 12. Okay, so negative 2 times what equals 12? Oh, negative 2 times negative 6. So this must be x minus 6. Okay, and I want to go ahead and double check this. And so what I'm going to do to double check this is I'm going to distribute. X times x is x squared. Negative 2x. Come and distribute the negative 6. So negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 2 is 12. And when I combine my terms in the middle, I get a negative 8x. And it matches. And so I did a good job. And so again, x times x is x squared. That's an easy way to get that first term. And then the second term is going to be that number times the negative 2 to get that 12. All right, so your job is to finish the remaining 3, and we'll push pause, give you a minute, and then check and see how you do. Okay, so we should have x plus 2 times x plus 7. We should have x minus 3 times x minus 4. And then we should have x minus 3 and x plus 3. Again, I have this 0x in the middle technically, which means that I need a negative 3x and a positive 3x to make that happen. Great. And so you are ready to start trying to come up with both expressions on your own. Let's flip the page and see what we can do.